everyone. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here today to listen to my Bible story. I've been looking everywhere for Truella. Have you guys seen her? I can't seem to find her. I was going to get her to help me tell the Bible story today, but I can't seem to find her anywhere. Can you see her? Oh, there she is. She's up in the tree. Truella, what are you doing up in this tree? Well, I just was wanting to see more things. You see, I'm not very tall. Well, that's true. And I couldn't see all the things I wanted to see. So I thought, if I climb this tree, I could see more. Well, that's true. If you climb a tree, you will definitely be taller, but you do want to make sure that you're being safe. Oh, yes, of course. Well, this reminds me actually of our Bible story today, Truella. It's about someone that climbed a tree. Really? Someone climbed a tree in the Bible story? Yeah, it's true. Someone climbed the tree so that they could see better. Oh, I can't wait to hear this story. Me neither. So I'm going to tell you guys this story about someone that climbed a tree and why they did it.
I'm very, very capable of anger. Just try and take my candy bar away.
I want to tell you a story today about a man named Zacchaeus. Now, Zacchaeus was a man, and even though he was a grown-up, he wasn't very tall. And because he wasn't very tall, he had a very hard time seeing over the crowds of people that would come around. Well, one day he heard that this great man was coming to town, and he wanted to hear what this guy had to say. That man's name was Jesus, and Zacchaeus really wanted to know what Jesus had to say. So, instead of trying to sneak his way through all of the people, Zacchaeus ran ahead of the crowds. He found a tall tree, and he climbed up the tree, and he waited up there to see Jesus when Jesus came by. Now, there's something that I need you to know about Zacchaeus. A lot of people did not like Zacchaeus. They didn't like what he did for a job because his job was to take their money. Everybody had to pay taxes, and they had to pay taxes to Zacchaeus, so Zacchaeus would give it to the people that were running the country. Well, they did not like Zacchaeus, and they thought he was a bad man. But guess what? That's not what Jesus thought about him. So Jesus saw him when he was climbed way up high in the tree, and he looked at Zacchaeus and he said, "Zacchaeus, you come down. I'm going to your house. I must go to your house for dinner tonight." So Zacchaeus was very excited, and he went down the tree, and he had Jesus and his disciples over for dinner that night. Now, while Zacchaeus was having dinner, he saw the love that Jesus had for him, and that it was different than how other people treated him. Zacchaeus had been taking money from people that he shouldn't have, and so he said he would give that money back, and he would pay back anybody that he owed money to or that he took money from 4 times over, which means that he was going to be very generous with his things. Jesus saw Zacchaeus when he was up in the tree, and he saw his heart, all of the things that were in there, and he loved him. He saw how we can see on the outside of people, we can see their hair and their nose and their teeth and their hands. Those are things that we can see about people, but God sees the things that we can't see, how people feel on the inside. So Zacchaeus, Jesus could see what was on the outside of him, that he was short and that he was in a tree, but he could also see what was inside of him. In the book of Matthew, Jesus was telling the people on that big long message he was giving them that one of the things that we need to remember is that we're not to look at people and decide what's true about them. We're to look at people and to love them and let God decide what's true about them or know what's true about them. That's how we're supposed to love other people. We're supposed to love them no matter what. And remember that God sees them. God sees you, and God sees me, and God sees every person, and He loves them. So our job is to see people and to love them. Zacchaeus climbed a tree so that he could see Jesus. That's a pretty neat thing. But Jesus saw him up in the tree, even though it was kind of like he was hiding like Truella was at the beginning of our story today. That's all for my story today. I do have an activity for you today about Zacchaeus, and so I'm going to show you what that activity is in just a second. Thanks for joining for my story, everyone. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!
I'm very, very capable of anger. Just try and take my candy bar away.
For step one, I cut out the base of my tree and the greenery. So you can see here, I just kind of left a big stump at the top so that I could attach the green part, the leaves, to my tree. And that's step one. For step two, I just did a hole punch where the leaves are and attached a yarn. So you want to tie knots into the part so that the yarn doesn't come through the hole when we go to pull on it later. I also taped the green part, the leaves, to the trunk of the tree. So that's step two. For step three, I drew a picture of a person, so Zacchaeus, and then I taped him to the yarn. That's step three. And for my final step, I added the words, God sees me. And that is just a reminder that I don't need to worry about what anyone thinks of me, and I shouldn't be worried about what I think about anyone else. Because what's true is that God sees me. So you can pull on that string. See if I can do this holding the camera. Pull on the string and get Zacchaeus up into the tree. And there you have our activity for the day.
And I make a great big mess. What do I do then? Well, I'll tell you, friends, but I'll bet you can guess. I just tell it to Jesus, he already